All right, Devon. So what's next? We know Daryl Morey likes to go into a season with the 14 spots filled up. Money is now limited. You, Kyle, and Derek do a great job of breaking that down for all of us lay people who are just here for the vibes and don't care about the cap. What is realistic? I know there's guys out there like Gary Trent Jr., who's above their pay grade, who I would love here. I would love to
Does
take a
have a
shot.
relationship with Nick Nurse.
Okay. I would love to take a shot on a Sadiq Bey, get him healthy for a playoff run. What do you think is realistic here? Is Kyle Lowry potentially back as a backup point guard, or is he going to get better offers? What do you think is kind of next here for the Sixers?
I do think somewhere along the line they'll pick up another ball handler, point guard, for the role that you're talking about, whether it be Kyle Lowry, familiarity with campaign, aka Terry Johnson, or maybe someone else. I've been stomping for Dennis Smith Jr. a little bit,
Okay.
which I've gotten a lot of pushback for.
He's been your guy for a while.
On our show for a long time, as you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to college, but different role that he is in right now.
Sure.
And so I pushing for him a little bit. Maybe a little more front court help if you lose Paul Reed and waiving him. You're now down another body, even though you have Adem Bona and, of course, you bring Andre Drummond in, but a little more front court help at the power forward position with some skill there. I think that's still something that they should address, even in a reserve role. And as you mentioned, they just have to fill out some spots. So ball handler in particular, front court help where you can add some scoring maybe at that forward position. Marcus Morris's name has been mentioned quite a bit. Could he make a return here to Philadelphia, get a full training camp with Nick Nurse again after being here for a short time? So I think those are some of the things. You mentioned Sadiq Bey. I like it. ACL torn in March. Hard worker. I'm sure that he's looking to get back. He's still young. When he does come back, that he'll be on some sort of prove it deal. And it would be a pretty good spot here going into the postseason. The only problem with that, as you know, and as we both know, with the ACL, you're not going to go out there and be yourself right away. So how much are you really getting from him? That would be more of a future deal potentially, just because of you taking advantage of a situation right there with a player coming off of a major knee injury and trying to get him back and then incorporate him into your system. And as you mentioned with Gary Trent Jr., again, just the familiarity being in Toronto with Nick Nurse. And while he and Pascal Siakam were two names that were mentioned that had some rough times with Nick Nurse in Toronto, especially being called out publicly and through the media, trying to put a little more pressure on them to play much better. Kyle Newbeck on our show that based on what he had understood, a little more information finding out, a little more just digging, that it wasn't as bad as Pascal Siakam. So maybe there's something that could still be smoothed over. You bring in that guy that's a shooter, and that will be, again, a more welcome sight to the lineup, because shooting, as we know, is at a premium here in the NBA. So that wouldn't be a bad look at all.
We all silly like the mayor.